Welcome to the YouTube channel. Dear friends, in the last lecture, we have seen the phonetry system. In the phonetry system, we have seen the larynx. It is commonly known as Adam's apple, which is situated at the top of the windpipe. At the same time, we also have gone through the vocal cords, its function as a valve, how it controls the aggressive air stream, that is, the air which is we breathe out, whether the sound is voiced or voiceless. All these things are included in the last section, last segment, that is phonetry system. Now, in this lecture, we will see the articulatory system. You are watching the vertical section of the human skull. I think you are very well acquainted, very well equipped with the figure number 1, which show all the organs of speech. Let us see the roof of the mouth carefully. This comprises the teeth-rich, hard palate, soft palate, and uvula. The convex bony part of the roof of the mouth, which lies immediately behind the upper front teeth is called teeth ridge. It is also called alveolar ridge or simply alveolar. It is convex, means in Marathi Bahirvakra. You can see the teeth ridge. It is Bahirvakra, that is convex, it is bony, hard, so we can feel with our tongue. Immediately after the teeth ridge, the roof of the mouth becomes concave, means in Marathi Antarvakra. It is also hard and bony. This bony concave surface is called the hard palate. So you can see behind the upper front teeth there is a teeth ridge. This is hard and bony, and after that, that convex bony part becomes a concave. It is also hard and bony. It is known as a hard palate. The roof of the mouth then suddenly becomes soft and fleshy. This is called the soft palate or vena. Look at the figure carefully. Behind the hard palate, there is a soft palate. It is a soft and fleshy. So you can feel, experience with the help of the tongue. If you touch the upper roof of the mouth with your tongue, so you can feel that the soft palate is fleshy and a soft one. The fleshy structure, which is loose, hanging at the extreme end of the roof of the mouth, is known as the uvula. So we can see our mouth wide by opening it widely and watch carefully in the mirror. Then we can see the loose hanging part is extreme at the end of the roof of the mouth is called uvula. Now, of these roof of the mouth, the soft palate or the velum has to be considered in detail. As we have seen, the vocal cords acts as a valve. It prevents the entry of food into the windpipe. When we swallow food or drink water, then it prevents the entry of food into the windpipe. So its function is like a valve. Now, the soft palate acts like valve in the opening and closing of the nasal passage of the air. If the soft palate is raised, so that it touches the back wall of the pharynx, by that closing the nasal passage, the air then cannot escape through the nose at all. So this can be evident through the figure which is shown here. Soft palate in the raised position, blocking the nasal passage of air. This is known as a velic closure. There is no blockage of the oral passage of the air, and the air escapes through the mouth, indicated by the arrows in the figure. So this is called the production of the oral sounds. In this figure, so we can see that the soft palate is raised. By that it shuts the nasal passage of the air. It prevents the escape of air, aggressive air, through the nasal passage of the air. The air is released through the mouth only. The air then cannot escape through the nose at all. Sounds during the production of which the air escapes only through the mouth are called oral sounds. All the sounds in the English words, the initial sounds, p, b, peel, bag, are oral sounds. The closure of the nasal passage of the air with the raising of the soft palate, it is known as a velic closure, as I mentioned earlier. So this is the first position of the velic closure. Now, if the soft palate is lowered, now in the second figure which I am showing here, if the soft palate is lowered, the passage into the nose is open. Now the nasal passage of the air is completely open, which is indicated by the air. So the air is released to the nose, but at the same time, simultaneously, there is blockage of the oral passage of the air by the lips or the tongue. It touches the roof of the mouth, or the two lips comes into the firm contact with each other. By that, it blocks the oral passage of the air. Only passage is open, that is the nasal passage of the air. And air is aggressive air. The air which is being breathed out is released through nose only. The sounds articulated with this structure, with this position of the organs of speech, are known as nasal sounds. The last sounds in the words some, sung, and sun are known as nasal sounds. So these are the two figures which shows there is a velic closure in the first figure, that is earlier I shown here. The soft palate is raised, by that it touches the back wall of the pharynx, and it prevents, or it completely shuts the nasal passage of the air. At the same time, there is opening in the oral passage of the air, and the air which we breathe out, transformed with the various organs of speech, are these sounds known as oral sounds. So this is the velic closure. Soft palate is raised. In the second figure, there is a velic opening. The soft palate is lowered. Soft palate is lowered. It allows the escape of outer atmospheric, the air which we breathe out through the nose, and at the same time, simultaneously, there is a blockage with the help of lips or any part of the tongue. It prevents the escape of air through the oral passage. So these sounds are called as nasal sounds. M, N, and G. these are the nasal sounds. So you could understand simply that oral sounds and nasal sounds. There is a third category of the sounds which are not in English. That is called the nasalized sound. But this is for the extra information. In the third position, so that is not the part of our syllabus, but still I will like to mention it. In the third position, the oral and nasal passage are open. This is called the nasalized sounds. It means that there is a velic opening, soft palate is lowered by that nasal passage of the air is open, and at the same time there is no blockage in the oral passage or oral cavity. The air escapes simultaneously through these two passages. So these sounds are known as nasalized sound. Let me give an example from the Hindi language. So there is a word akh. The kh, that sound is nasalized sound. So these are the three types of category of the sounds. One is oral sound. The second one is nasal sounds, and the third one is nasalized sound. The third category is not so important for our syllabus. So remember the two categories, that is oral sounds and the nasal sounds. So these two sounds are very important one or significant one for your syllabus. Now the question arises how to determine, how to ascertain whether the sound is oral or nasal sound. It's very simple. When we articulate a sound by closing our nostrils, when we produce a sound by closing our nostrils, so these are the nostrils, nakpudi in Marathi. So when we articulate the sound, when the sound stops, now see, suppose I'm articulating or producing the sound m. So by closing my nostril, so you can see, you can also experiment this one. So ma, ma, ga, sa, ga, sing, some, sun. It means that sound has a hurdle. Sound is a stop. It means that the air is released through the nose. It means that there is a velic opening, soft palate is lowered, the air is escaping through the nose. Then we articulate the other sounds like p, b, t, d, k, g, cha, ja. So sound never stops. It means that there is a velic closing, velic closure is there, soft palate is raised, it touches the back wall of the pharynx, it closes the nasal passage of the air. So the air, the aggressive air, the air which we breathe out is released through our mouth only, and the sounds are known as a oral sound. So in this uh, session, we have seen the articulatory system. The articulatory system is a partial one. So we have seen the only roof of the mouth. Now the third one. Now the second part of the articulatory system, which is very important one, the organ, that is the tongue. So you can see tongue is a very important organ of the speech, as I mentioned. So these organs are mentioned for the sake of convenience for the subject, and these are the organs of speech. Otherwise, they have their own function. So it can take up a large number of positions. So tongue is a very flexible one. It takes up a number of positions, infinite positions in our mouths. So or the production of the different sounds. We divide the tongue into the tip, blade, the front, back, and a roof of the tongue. So in this figure, so we can see the blade, front, back, and roof. But there is another part of the tongue, that is the tip of the tongue. So these are the five parts of the tongue. The extreme edge of the tongue is called the tip of the tongue. Extreme edge of the, now you can see the blade of the tongue. But before that blade, there is a tip of the tongue, which is the extreme edge of the roof of the tip of the tongue. Immediately after the tip of the tongue is the blade of the tongue. Immediately after tip of the tongue, there is a blade of the tongue. And the blade of the tongue is the part of the tongue which lies that lies opposite the teeth ridge when all the organs of speech are at rest. Remember this one. So when we becomes very silent now, like this one, the part of the tongue which touches the teeth ridge. So teeth ridge behind the teeth, so behind the upper front teeth, which part of the tongue is a touching? It is known as the blade of the tongue. So extreme edge of the tongue is called the tip of the tongue. After the tip of the tongue, there is blade of the tongue. Blade of the tongue is the part of the tongue which lies opposite to the teeth ridge or alveolar ridge or alveolum when all organs of speech are at rest, when we become very silent. Behind the blade of the tongue, there is a front of the tongue. Behind the blade of the tongue, there is a front of the tongue. Front of the tongue is the part of the tongue which lies opposite to that of the hard palate when all the organs of the speech are at rest. So when we are silent like this one, the part of the tongue which touches the hard palate is called as the front of the tongue. Now behind the front of the tongue, there is the back of the tongue. Back of the tongue is the part of the tongue which lies opposite to that of the soft palate when all the organs of speech are at rest. And beyond the back of the tongue, there is a root of the tongue. So these are the five parts of the tongue which are here, and it is the part of the articulatory system. Articulatory system, once again, let me remind you, let me recapitulate or revise that roof of the mouth. Mouth comprises the upper teeth, then upper or the teeth ridge, then hard palate, soft palate, uvula, and the tongue, which is very important organ of speech. In the production of the various sound, and tongue can be divided into the five parts: tip of the tongue, blade of the tongue, front of the tongue, back of the tongue, and root of the tongue. So all these organs comprises the articulatory system. One more organ of speech is there, lips. Lips are play a vital role during the articulation of certain consonants. For example, the sound like p, b. So these, during the articulation of these sounds, two lips comes into the contact with each other. It blocks the air in the mouth. So lips also plays very important role in the articulation of some of the sounds, like m also is there. So lip is also another organ of speech, and it is the part of the articulatory system. And the lips, as you know, it's a very tender, soft one, and it has a aesthetic quality of the human being. So it gives us the beautiful, attractive face with the help of lip. But along with that, so this is another function during the articulation of the some of the sound. So friends, I hope you understand the autocomplete system very well, and if any difficulty is there before you, so you could ask me uh, by calling me. So thank you for watching my YouTube channel. Thank you once again.